Hello, everyone. I missed the dot.
Hello, everyone. Because you see,
And
I
welcome
pay
to
attention.
the
And
Women's
welcome
Tale.
to the Ladies' Tale podcast.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
Nona,
I guess it is.
how did? Well, no, we literally had a discussion about it.
I know.
She doesn't listen when other people talk, though, so I can understand how she forgot.
Listen.
You
I
do?
hear the words, but I don't necessarily keep them in my mind.
Oh, because it's unimportant. It's just like, Mom, is someone talking again? I could. Can I have another drink? Like that's important. These other things people keep saying. What is this? What?
I'm sorry, that is not true. I am not that bad.
No, she's really not, y'all. I was just really just making fun
Please
of her a little bit
understand,
today.
I don't even listen to the voice in my own head. Wait,
Yes, you do. You're a writer, so you have to listen to the voices in your head.
I listen to the voices, not the voice.
Oh, okay.
I see. That voice that's like
the voice of reason. Like,
yeah,
don't do
the
that.
Voice of reason. No,
don't do that. No. But the voice of a character. Oh my goodness, that's the best plot line ever. Thank you for saying that dialogue.
Exactly. I'm trying to keep it balanced.
All right, well, no.
Let's move on.
Fine. Like I made my own self laugh. That's
you do it quite often. Let's
horrible.
move on.
Yeah, so I'm Jade, by the way.
Oh, and I'm Winona. You remember?
Yeah, we
social distance.
Don't touch people's hand. COVID's out here, y'all.
All right. Professional.
Don't you just a little bit? All right. So we wrote literary life guides with pop poetry.
Those are professional.
Right, professional, and these are the voices that no one listens to in her head. Yes, and so do I, apparently. Well, whatever. Right. So, and I thought divorce was bad with other life lessons, and I thought being grown up was easy. If only I were me, a memoir and verse, all of those available on audible.com.
That's 4 of the 17 books that you can pick up from us. There you go.
Of course. My favorite book isn't out yet, and that's gonna be a while. So. And
that is a new one.
No, and that is. And I thought I did my journey alone because I have a favorite book.
It's not out on Audible.
It's not out on Audible right now. Like I'm sad. I'm gonna have to get that done at some point. Anyway. And what's really important is that we have the 25 hottest indie authors, artists, in Advocate magazine.
We just got it today.
We finally finished it. Like, I'm so happy. That was like 3 months of my life gone, and I will never get that back. But it was worth it.
Wait. Before we go on, I'm a
really? Because people are listening to this on a podcast. Like, how they gonna see your picture on a podcast?
Go buy the magazine. Give me money and then look at me.
Oh my goodness. And anyway, you can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com.
If you wanted to abbreviate it, you can find it at andithoughtLadies.com. We've taken forever today, so
so y'all aren't here to hear about us or Winona modeling on a page. You're here to hear from our wonderful guests. Wonderful guests, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm JB Popplewell, and I'm supposed to say something about myself, correct? I have the largest moist towelette collection in the world. I'm very happy about that. And then the other thing is that I have lived in 3 different Houstons.
Really?
That's all I got.
Wow.
Okay, so
we have to move on to yeah.
But then I really want to ask
what. Coming back.
Yeah, that's a question that has to be asked.
Yeah, because I have follow-ups as well. But anyways, I'm Tara Jean O'Brien, and I just found a hidden safe in my coat closet.
Ooh.
A fun fact. And I also have a podcast called Cinema Craptaculous, where we review very bad movies.
I love this.
I love this so much. Somebody should do it for bad books, and we'll just put our poetry right on in there.
Yeah.
It would be great. It would be great. I love it. Okay, so I'm sorry, JP. We're gonna have to come back to where were the 3 Houstons?
Houston, Missouri, Houston, Minnesota, and then Houston, Texas.
Wow.
There's a couple other ones out there. I think there's a Houston, Delaware.
Really?
Yeah.
Houston, Texas is so big. I feel like we don't need the other Houstons.
Right?
They could. There's enough Houston in Texas.
I went to Houston in 2019, and I was like, why does the city keep going? Like, what's going on with this city? Like, are we out of it yet? Like, what's happening?
I feel bad.
It's kind of like an armpit there as well. It's just so hot. Like, you're just always in the armpit.
Oh my goodness, it was so.
But food was so good.
The food was amazing. But when we went, it was like 90 to 100 degrees, which I don't mind. I like wet. I like hot weather, just as long as it's dry. And it was not dry; it was humid.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got on a plane and we flew over to England for our book tour, and in July it was snowing on our heads.
So needless to say,
So and
we got a cold,
we
right?
took the same
Yeah.
clothes from Houston to England. We were like, we're not even repacking. We'll just wash them in the sink at the hotel.
No, we didn't wash them in the sink at the
I'm
hotel.
joking.
We had 21 hours and we came home and washed our clothes.
Yes,
Don't
we
let
did.
people think we did that. Don't let people think that. No.
Kay does it all the time.
But that's Kay. That's not us.
So we immediately caught a cold. But anyway, for the Houston, I was thinking like when we went there, I was like, oh my word, it's so big. I bet you can get on like public transportation and come up with a bill like $80 just for coming.
Yeah.
She did say that as we were about to get on like the subway. She was all, I bet you this could cost $80. I was like, why would you say that? I would have just taken the Uber. Stop saying these things. Trying to save the earth and whatnot.
Okay, let's get back to you guys.
Yes.
So how did the two of you get started and in the business?
And then Tara, I have a question for you.
Okay. JB, I know how we met, JB. Do you remember? You know.
It was on a job.
Mhm.
Have introduced us. We have a very good friend named Pavlina. She introduced us. I don't remember which job though.
It was, well, it's now called Little Birds. It was Little Birds, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, yes. My mom's review of that movie was, I know that movie is for somebody, but it isn't me.
Wow.
That was a movie. So we shot, like, that was a movie. I think the budget was like $600,000, which if you don't know anything about movie making, that's nothing. Like that is pennies on the dollar. Like it's no money. And we shot for a week in a place called the Salton Sea, which is like it's a lake that's a mistake. Like a dam burst and all this water like went into this place. So it's like a lake where like the fish don't survive. So every like, I don't know, 5-6 years, all the fish in the lake die at the same time. And then it smells through like the whole Coachella Valley, like dead fish.
And when
So
you walk on the beach, if you look closely, it is all fish skeletons. It's all little bones of fish. It's really bizarre.
So we shot there for a week on this movie.
I don't know if
For
I
the
should.
first time ever, I have no
I
follow.
was just in here like, should I be like, that's so dope, or should I be like, why? I don't know which one I should be.
Well, I'm happy that when the dam burst, it made a lake.
Well, at least it didn't flood everything and people died. That's exciting. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. So dope then on that.
Yeah.
You had a question.
It used to be like a fancy tourist spot.
Yeah,
Like
because
all
they
the
didn't
rich
know.
celebrities went there.
Yeah, they didn't know that it was like, and then in 1 year, like all the fish died, and everybody's like, "Oh, I just bought all this property there," and now now the beach is made of dead fish.
Oh my.
Well,
Okay.
I don't. That's
Ever. I'm gonna be like
that's.
waterfront property. Not a good idea.
Well, check where it came from. Check the origins. Okay, has it been here for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years? Yes. Well, then go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. So, sorry, I have to ask.
Yeah.
Why the podcast?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you ladies have reasons for doing podcasts too. It actually wasn't my first podcast. My first podcast was with my best friend. It was called Single versus Married, and we sort of interviewed people. But then pandemic happened, and it's hard. Like we tried it via Zoom, like with guests, and it's just not the same. It just didn't work for us. But so, anyways, at the same time, my friend Adam was like, "Hey, I'm doing this movie review podcast, and we need a funny woman." And I was like, "Thank you so much." And so we could do that remotely. Like we all individually watch a terrible movie, then we review it just like this. And so it worked out. But it's fun. So it's not my original idea. I can't take credit for it. I just give my very correct opinions on these terrible movies. So
Well, also you can take credit for being a funny woman, though. Go ahead, take that.
yes, I'll take that.
Good.
Yeah,
That's good.
I will take that.
No, we should not.
Because it was horrible.
It's not even done yet.
Oh, that's true.
There you go. There.
Okay. So we got how you guys met, and then next would be like, what do you do? Because we've hinted to movie, and now we have a podcast
that's talking about
that's
movies.
talking about movies. I feel like it's something to do with movies. I'm joking. I already know what it is.
I think JB should go first because you guys found JB.
Yeah, I'm curious. Who told you about
We
me?
always, and so y'all listen up, fans. We're gonna find out how we find our guests. we always try to keep an eye out for people that are doing like amazing things, but we don't have we're like, where are their articles? Where are their interviews? What's going on? Oh, we're gonna interview them then.
So
yeah, but am I doing amazing things? Question mark.
Yes, JB,
Yes,
of course you are.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just us thinking, but I mean, I want you to know that we really believe it. So here you are, podcast.
I appreciate that. I'm producing TV shows, but and then what?
That's
Hard
very
making
cool.
faces at me.
It's very cool, JB. You're not giving yourself enough credit. So
it's a lot of long. Okay, it is. Okay, I love what I do. It's a lot of long hours. And basically when you do the show, that's all you do. But then when you're done, I get to be off for a few months a year. And a lot of people don't get to do that. Like if they have a corporate job, then they only get 2 weeks off a year. And I wouldn't be able to handle that. I need lots of months off because I'm selfish.
Oh no, I understand that.
I think we all came. I know I came into my house and when COVID happened, and I was like, these months off, this is fabulous. I think I need more of this.
She lied. When we came in here for the first 2 months, we did 3 shows a day, 7 days a week.
Oh my gosh.
Because my best friend was like, we're going to do 3 shows a day, 7 days a week.
And then produce 2 new books.
And I was like, okay, well, Nona.
And a game board.
But then came summer, I worked on my tan all summer long.
That's true. There you go. Right. So what do you do with your time
on? Well, we wrote a screenplay together. Yes. And I smoked a ton of weed. I gotta be honest. I just like smoke and smoke and smoke.
Okay.
Yeah. It's legal in California, so I took advantage. So
it's legal here too.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not legal where I am now, so I'm having a break because I don't like if I'm working in a different state or a country, I'm the guest of that country or that state. So I follow the rules. So I haven't smoked since January. I'm not counting or anything, 5 months.
So you wrote a screenplay together. How did that come to be?
Wait, we don't know what Tara does.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. Follow-ups are
you
good.
do.
Well, yeah, so JB produces TV shows. I have like 15 jobs, like a lot of people in Hollywood. I am an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a location manager. I also produce much, much smaller things than JB's very big shows. So yeah, so I do too many things. That's what I do. But to lead right into the question about JB and I, so again, I thought pandemic was, I didn't have a lot of problems with it because I got to be home and I was writing. Like I wrote a lot. I found a way to just be like, you know what? I gotta make use of this time where like I don't have, there's not even a job for me to go to right now. Hollywood shut down. I can't do anything. So I decided to write a lot. And then I don't even know how it came up, but one day JB just texted me. She's like, we should write something together. And I was like, all right. And so I think I threw out 1 or 2 ideas of things that I had like, okay, these are things that I want to write. And so it was very like, just like a tidbit of an idea. And so that was like, last June or July, something like that. And so we
remember, yeah, somewhere around there.
And so, yeah, so we did it like this via Zoom, and we got, we had sessions and.
I know
I have a question though.
But I wanted to ask mine. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm gonna ask how it's gonna be. Yeah,
you don't have.
So as y'all were writing together, did your producer brains like click on and be like, oh, we probably shouldn't write this because it's gonna cost a lot of money, or maybe it's gonna give the producers a hard time? Does that happen, or does it not?
We decided to do animation because nobody was filming live action at that time. So we didn't have to worry about it. And our screenplay contains a lot of stuff that would be really expensive to do in real life. But it's all animation. So it was easy. We came up with fantastical things that you actually couldn't do in real life.
Right.
Sorry. It's very funny. I'm thinking of it. Some of the things.
It's in the movie Little Birds, right?
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
very different. Very different.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think when we started this, we thought it was going to be live action because we were like, that's what this was going to be. And then we were coming up with some crazy stuff. And maybe it does like go to the producer side where we're like, this will be like really crazy to like expensive to make.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, so if we go to animation, we could do literally whatever we wanted.
And then we started reading news stories about how all the studios were moving to animation, and it all just kind of flew from there. So
okay, yeah, I just always wanted to ask like a producer writer that question. Like always wanted to ask them, is it at some point you're like, nope, we can't have that. That car crash, no, we can't have it. That's over the budget.
So we're brand new to screenwriting, and you're actually on the podcast. This podcast has our script on it with professional actors that read scripts.
Just do a table read.
They just do a table read. And so it was funny because the first time we wrote a script, we were like, oh, we love it. And then our friends who are producers went, ooh, this costs a lot. And I was like, what? And they're like, it costs a lot. So from then on, they told me it was going to cost a lot. And since, I go to write something, I'm like, that costs too much. Wait, I don't need that character. I think somebody else can say that. So I was like, and then so we talked to our friends who are creative, and they're like, why would you do that? That's the producer's job. I want to make it easier. Anyway.
Yeah, don't rein yourself in. Let them do it.
That is true. When you are right, like when you're first starting out in writing, like you should write whatever you want. Somebody else will tell you no, but
Well, that's a really good tip then.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tip. Like I appreciate that. So do y'all have any more?
No,
Nona,
I'd like to ask my question before we go on. You are a location manager. I have always wanted that job.
Oh, you don't, but continue on.
Because I asked one of my directors friends, I want to be a location manager, or I want to be one of the people who pick the location for movies, and they were like, "Let me explain your job," and I was like, "Why'd you ruin it?" So what like? Because I only heard from a director what it could be like. I've never heard from someone who does it for real.
So this is so this is also our friend Pavlina's fault that I even do this job. Because we were on another low budget movie, and I'd been doing production coordinating for Pav, and I realized I couldn't do production coordinating because you have to be in the office, and I was still auditioning and things like that. So I was like, I can't do both, so I can't do this anymore. And Pav's like, you should come do locations. And I was like, I've never done that before. She's like, don't worry about it. You'll do it. It'll be great. And like, cut to, I still do it now. But so essentially what a location manager does, one of the very to dumb it down is like, you find locations, right? You present them to the directors, the producers, whatever. They pick a location. And then once that happens, then it's all like, the location manager is sort of the face of production to the outside world, right? So while everybody's making believe behind me and doing things that are like, still, they're making up things, everybody in front of me is like, I run a city and you have to have a permit for the truck that's on the street. Or no, you can't blow up a car in the middle of downtown Los Angeles on a Tuesday morning. Like, so it's a matter of, we on the basic level of production, I am finding the locations, like it's very logistical based, and then securing permits, dealing with cities, dealing with location owners, doing exciting things like renting dumpsters and porta potties for the crew. So it is not an easy job by any stretch of the imagination, and it is very rarely all that creative in my personal experience. I know some people feel very differently about it. It is very much a logistics, operational, wildly important part of production. It's like I sort of provide the canvas for which a movie is then made. But then once they start shooting, nobody wants to see or hear from me because I generally am coming over and being like, oh, you can't do that in this space. Or like, hey guys, the permit runs out at 10 o'clock and nobody wants rules. And so once they start shooting, nobody wants to hear from the location manager. That's what happens.
She explained about you have all the trouble of making sure that the crew does what's allowed on the location. And I was like, I thought this job was pick a location, show the director, they say okay, and I get to walk off.
Yeah.
Came home. And when she explained it, I was like, well, I only went the first time. How do we do
yes. Well, you could just scout. Like you could just scout locations. Like there's location scouts.
There you
But,
go.
I think we bored JB. She's gone.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
We
You're back.
bored her to death. She
No,
was like,
okay,
y'all.
let's focus on JB
Bored
now.
to tears.
Oh,
Bored
God.
to tears. Bored to tears.
Okay. So what is it like doing big productions? Because we've heard about smaller productions.
God.
yeah, JB, what's it like?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and organization and dealing with different personalities. Oh, and I get to boss a lot of people around. That's my favorite.
Well, that
That's
sounds
fun.
great.
Dealing with different personalities does not sound fun.
On a side note, y'all, I wanted to say that your friend that introduced y'all seems like she's always conspiring for y'all's greatness. So
I know. I
that's
want
a good
to
friend.
interview her.
Yeah, that's a good friend. Like, she's conspiring for your greatness.
She should. Yeah, she is.
I love it. I love
All right.
There's a lot of people who look like adults, but then aren't actually adults in our business.
Every business, though?
Maybe so.
Oh,
I don't know. It seems like the film and TV world brings it out special
Yeah.
because there's so much money involved.
I would tell you
Yeah.
a story, but then I don't want to talk about those people that we know right now.
Don't talk about anyone. What are you talking about? Everyone you know is wonderful.
Yes, everyone and spectacular
It's spectacular
in their own unique way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
So that's
Advice.
so yeah, what is some of the advice that y'all would give new people trying to start out in the film industry, especially women, because I hear that it's a little harder to break in on the management side than it is for men.
And we can skip over location management as the best ever. I feel we covered that. I don't want to dash my dream anymore.
So sorry. So sorry to bust open the small world of locations and ruin it for everybody.
I would say be flexible and I don't know. I care a lot about what I do and I want to do a good job.
I like it. Care a lot and be flexible. That's very important. If you put your heart into it, a lot of times.
And be a good boss, like be understanding and don't be I think this industry brings out, because it's so high pressure, it's easy to be a jerk. And I'm not into that. And I don't hire people who are jerks, and I hire people who are nice people and who care about each other. I try. I mean, you don't always succeed. Because it's so high pressure, I think that sometimes that can bring out the worst in people. And it's just so much easier to try to be calm and nice. And the only time I really yell is when I'm excited or happy. I try not to yell at people. You hear of all these stories of, people having computers and stuff thrown at them. And it's just like, that is the opposite of how we run things. And I just want to be around people who are emblematic of that and who try to be good people and nice. You don't always succeed. There's over 600 people on our crew. And then, we have over 100 actors. And then you have a couple 200 background people. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of jerks, but I try not to pay attention to them as much because, negative reinforcement, it exists.
Wow,
can you teach a course in that? I'm just learning.
I think people need to have a course in that one right there.
Tara?
I mean, it's interesting. I just wrote a piece on Medium that was called "The Terror of an All-Female Film Crew," because I worked on I actually had the honor of working on Lena Dunham's last movie this winter, and it's the first movie she's written and directed in a really long time. She is amazing. Like I really, really, truly mean that. Whatever feeling you have about Lena Dunham, to work with her as a writer director was like eye-opening, because we had mostly female department heads on it, and there was just like such a sense of, like, it's COVID, right? So it was very hard to make a movie in general or to do anything right now, because you have, you're getting a Q-tip shoved up your nose every morning. You're in a mask. You can't really bond with anybody because you can't see their faces. You don't really get to know anybody. But she was so like lovely and understanding, and it just set the tone for the whole set. And we also had a first AD who was also amazing, who's just like, here's what we're doing. Does anybody have any questions? Great. This is how the shoot day is going to go. We're going to do it. There was no yelling. There was no like this pressure to just like perform and do this and do that. So I think it's actually like, if you're a woman in Hollywood, below the line, I can't really, I think above the line is sort of always what it's going to be. But there's a good opportunity for a lot of women to get jobs right now, because you're now like, there's a focus on it, like, because there is such a lack of women below the line, especially in department heads that aren't, hair, makeup, and wardrobe, that there's opportunities for women to start, having their voices heard, women of, of every race, everything, people, LGBTQ people, like, it's really, it feels like it's starting to move the needle ever so slightly, because there's good producers like JB and other people and Lena Dunham who like actively are like, we know all these great people, but like, let's meet new people to see what they can bring to these projects and give them a start. So there's a lot of diversity programs right now out there that are encouraging, young women to get involved at every sort of position on a crew.
Oh, that's but now, if someone wants to cute African American poetry to pop in on any of those positions, let us know.
No, we're actually just there for craft service.
I was just about to ask. Now, the most important question, because this has been on my bucket list since I was 12 years old.
And then she told me, and then it was on my bucket list. I was like, oh, well, no, we're doing this.
I found out there's such a thing as craft service. So all I want to know is what is the best crafty that you've ever seen?
What?
That's tough.
It's actually pretty easy for me. It was backstage at Depeche Mode.
What they have?
They have the best catering and best crafty.
Yeah, what they have, JB?
I don't know. It was all just like high-end, yummy stuff. And their catering was amazing. Like the menus were just beautiful, like steak and shrimp and pasta, and there's everything every day. And they have this beautiful list of all the yummy stuff.
Oh, that sounds.
JB, can we please be friends just in case you come back to that?
Yes, let's be friends. I'm into that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
not
promise.
just for the crafty.
We promise
but
we
there's a
won't.
lot to do with the crafty.
We won't talk to anyone on set. We'll just be in a corner with our fork and our plate. Like don't worry about it. Don't worry. We're good. We're fine. Let me get lower in this corner so no one will see.
Love it.
Funny. That's funny. I would just say, hot tip: craft services on commercials will always be a lot better than film and TV, right,
True.
JB?
Mm-hmm. Because it's a shorter period of time.
Yeah, shorter period of time. Yeah, and it's usually like, a big company is like, funding this commercial, so they want they want it to look good, and craft service on commercials, much better.
Yeah. Especially car commercials.
Yeah, car commercials.
Yeah.
I think I need to.
Yeah, we're gonna contact them again.
Hello. By the way, haven't forgotten about your promise. That give us that.
Yeah,
we just like.
It was so sad. We literally like every year not this year, but every year we used to get all these producers together and we have a producer roundtable about Hollywood for the year. Which is funny because we're poets and we know nothing about Hollywood.
But it was fun. It was fun learning.
And every year we just make them make at the end. We're like, and you still promise, like an oath, that when you get on good crafty, you will immediately call us so we can get plane tickets.
Immediately, we're coming.
If you see lobster, call us.
Well, thank y'all for coming on. We really appreciate it. I don't
know if you want people to find you, but where can people find your work?
Where can people find your work? And then also, where can they listen to your podcast?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. So my podcast, it's called Cinema Craptaculous. I think we're on everything, like Apple. I think we're on Stitcher, Spotify. I think that pretty much anywhere. I think it's also just cinemacraptaculous.com is our website. And my website is tarajeanobrien.com. And there's too much information about me, and you can find me at all those places. Right, JB?
Yes.
It's a lovely website. Some websites, you're like, I don't know what they do.
It's all good.
You go to her website and you're like, I know
exactly
what she does. JB, where can people find your work?
Can I just be in the background?
Sure. And JB is just going to be in the background. So y'all look at those credits real closely and you'll probably see her name.
Now that you mention it, that's what we found in the credits.
We did find you in a credit. Yep. That's what it was. We were like, who produced this show? This is a great show. It's very uplifting. I like it.
Every time we watch TV, Jade goes, "Can you please stop working?" Because I'm like, "Oh, pause. Who's that first? Pause."
Wait, what show?
Yeah, now I want to know what show.
Okay, so we're not. I don't remember, y'all. We wrote it down because we liked the show so very much. We were like, whoever produced this thing.
Wait, was it The Alienist? Because that was the most recent.
The what?
The Alienist on TNT.
No, I haven't started that.
Huh.
I think it was one from a while ago.
Well, we've been stuck in the house for a year, y'all. So when
we stop recording, I think I'll tell you.
I think we might be able to remember. All right, so y'all can find out everything your ladies are doing. Probably a little bit that you didn't want to know on www.andwethought.com. While you're there, take a moment, go to the ladies tab, go to the middle and see the charities that we probably support. Maybe you could support them also,
especially during COVID, because hey, it's hard for everyone out here, especially charities.
Absolutely. And if you want all of this just in a really condensed version, where do they go, Winona?
www.andithoughtLadies.com.
Now just remember, wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona
and Jade. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, thanks for listening.